What's up, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rochambeau, connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. Today, we're talking shop on the Fidget Phenom, the Sultan of Slash. Don't call it a comeback. It's been here for years. Let's dive into the Spyderco Smock. Boom, and we're back. Guys, I've been waiting so long to do this video, to have this knife in my hands. It's been over a year, and it's been labeled as discontinued, out of stock, and you just haven't been able to find these anywhere but Knife Center, where it was listed as a pre-order for literally a year. That's not a joke. I waited a long time for this knife. Now, I know that there's been a ton of reviews out there, but I have a feeling that if you're like me and you've been waiting for this knife, you might want to bone up and make sure that you got all the right info. So before I get into my personal thoughts and feelings on this knife, I wanted to go over the specs for those of you that may not have seen those videos. So overall length is coming in at just shy of 8 inches. It's got a blade length of just under 3.5 inches with a cutting edge at 3 inches flat. You might be thinking, oh, that kind of sounds like a Spyderco Para 3. It's actually a lot more carry friendly than a Spyderco Para 3. This one is my modified version. I've got these handle scales lined up. Ignore the karambit clip, okay? The Para 3 is shorter overall, and it has a fatter blade profile. What about up against something like the Spyderco Manix 2? Same thing. Manix 2 has a bigger blade profile. It's not as carry friendly, but if you were to look at the overall length, the length is actually very similar. The handle scale length is also very similar. And of course, like always, Spyderco continues to mess up by putting a lanyard hole where it shouldn't be. It's not that I have anything against lanyard holes. It's just that on all of their knives that have them, they should just put them in between the handle scales. Dear Lord, why? All right. Carry-wise, this is actually more similar to a Demko 80-20.5. Very similar length, very similar handle scale profile, and even very similar blade profile. Once you get past the fact that this is a clip point and this is a modified sheep's cliff worn foot thingy. At first, I wasn't 100% positive if I liked this blade shape, but honestly, it's very friendly to use. It's easy to sharpen, easy to strop, and I think that a lot of people will honestly enjoy it. It's a far cry from, the pelican face blade that you get on a Para 3. Very friendly. The blade itself is made out of S30V, which is one of my favorite blade steels. I do wish that you could get this in S45VN, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. When you wait as long as I have for a knife, you'll take it in S30V and you won't cry about it too much. Handle scale material is going to be G10 with a layer of carbon fiber, and it has these little weight reducing holes, which I'm pretty sure are just for style because it's not like G10 is very heavy anyways. In fact, this knife comes in at about 3.6 ounces. So you pair that with the blade length of, 3.4, 3.39, somewhere in that realm. You're very close to 1 ounce an inch, and it's very well balanced. It's easy to feel confident with this knife in your hand because the balance is so good. Also, right where your index finger should go, you'll notice the chamfering. They do this on the Spyderco Yojimbo 2 scales as well, and it makes for a really comfortable grip. You might notice how smoothly this blade pops back in. It's not guillotine fall shut. In fact, you'll notice that it stops right about there. And that's because it utilizes a double detent system. Now, word on the street is that Spyderco did this so that it wouldn't be classified as a gravity knife. I don't really care about that. I live in a state where that's not really an issue, but you might. A very common modification is for people to take out one of those detent balls, and that makes it more fall shutty. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but we'll just call it what it is, okay? Now on the top of the blade, you do have some standard jimping, which means that you can get a nice grip on it. And you'll notice that this has a really ugly choil. It's not exactly a sharpening choil. It's not exactly a finger choil. No, it is for the compression button style lock here on the back so that the blade doesn't bang into that when it closes. It's probably also the reason why you can't get that very same compression lock button on something like a Spyderco Para 3 because, let's be honest, that just wouldn't look very good on this knife. That being said, I do wish that more Spydercos had this because whether you're a lefty or a righty, it's really easy to access either way. I'm not left-handed, and I was still able to close that one-handed with no issues. Oops, get that out of the way. It's very fidget friendly. This is basically a fidget spinner for adults. All right, so my personal feelings on this knife. Was it worth the wait? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how you can be a fan of this company, a fan of Spyderco, and not have this knife. 100% it was worth the wait. This has been more fun to carry than my Para 3, but that could just be because this is newer to my collection. I'll have to do an update on this review about 3 months from now, and we'll see if I still actually prefer to carry this over my Para 3. But the combination of the blade profile being slimmer, the handle scales being really friendly, make it really easy to carry, and I enjoy that. I think that the pocket clip location is atrocious. It's probably the worst pocket clip location and combination of lanyard hole that they've come out with. Congratulations, Spyderco. You managed to make it more awkward. I didn't think it was possible, but against all odds, you did it. Congratulations. Am I going to modify this knife? Maybe. I would honestly prefer to have titanium handle scales. It will add some weight and possibly make it more handle heavy. But the sound when you deploy this knife, and I know it's not going to come through on the speakers very well, but you can hear the reverberation of the lockup against the steel and the G10, and it kind of has this weird twang. You don't get that with titanium handle scales, okay? Solid click. Muffled twang. That annoys me. So, I'll summarize. What do I like? I like the blade profile. I like the knife steel. S30V is perfectly good knife steel. I don't need it to be M390, although DLT did have an exclusive with M390 blade steel. I don't like the pocket clip or the lanyard hole locations. I don't like the pocket clip itself. Those got to go. MXG makes a pocket clip that will fit this. If you buy this knife, I heavily suggest that. I don't like the choil, but it has to be there. And I'm undecided on the double detent system. Sometimes it closes nicely, sometimes not. It's just something that you have to get used to. Overall design language, I like it. I like being able to see the blade through here, but I do wish that they had included a backspacer. Let me know in the comment section down below, by the way, if you want me to do a versus video between the Spyderco Para 3 and the Spyderco Smock. When I did the Spyderco Para 3 video, 3 reasons why, which I will link up here in the corner, a lot of people were telling me, hey, you know what? The Spyderco Smock is a much better knife. And at the time, I said, hey, I can't exactly suggest the Smock because you can't buy it anywhere unless you buy it used. That might not be the case anymore. So let me know. Put a comment down below if I should do a versus video between the Spyderco Para 3 and the Spyderco Smock. Should be an interesting one. Guys, that's all I got for you. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see me fidget with more knives, make sure you also tap that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one.